What is the current council doing right? What is it doing wrong? And how would you like to change that if elected?
Well, I think our current council, which I've been on for the last 4 years now, since 2010, is finally getting to one of the campaign promises that I made, is our infrastructure. In fact, right in front of your building here is a Harrison Avenue project. Also the Lakeview Commons, the Linear Park was recently completed. We put lights and sidewalks, pedestrian lighting on Pioneer Trail, which has been a big priority for me. I've advocated curbs, sidewalks, and pedestrian lighting on Highway 50, and we're doing that working with Caltrans. So I'm very pleased that we're getting some much-needed infrastructure. We also paved about 2.5 miles of local roads. Got a long ways to go, but at least we're making a head start on that. And we balanced the budget for the last 2 years for the first time ever. So we made some real tough decisions on the city council regarding healthcare issues and retirees' healthcare specifically, and so really looking forward to take us to that next level. And what are we doing wrong? I think one of the challenges we have in any town, not just here, is communicating with the public. How do we get the word out? How do we get the public engaged? And that's a tough one. You'll get some controversial issues once in a while, and they show up. I wish in today's world with technology, they could all have a little button at home. Watch it on TV and then we vote. They can push a button and tell us what they feel. You know, so that's what's really, you call it wrong, but I would use a different word. That's a challenge, and it really is. What would I like to change? Really, stabilization of the economy. That's one of the things I've advocated in here. It's all about the economy, the economy, the economy. There's an old saying in sales, nothing happens till somebody sells something. My focus has been on the economy. As the old saying goes, as the tide rises, all boats float higher. As you know now, we have a BevMo coming in town. It's a new 10,000 square foot building. We have an AutoZone coming in town. So we're seeing some retail progress coming to our community, which is going to be jobs. The new Hard Rock, 500 jobs. I worked there for 25 years. I'm really excited about that project. By the way, there is no state line. The economy encompasses a whole region, not just the city of South Lake Tahoe. We're partners in this together.
What state do you believe the city of South Lake Tahoe is in now as a whole, and how do you think outsiders perceive the city? How would your presence on the council impact this?
I think the perception here is that we're making some progress in this community. I think we all agree. You're probably seeing it in your advertising revenue here at the Tribune. How do outsiders see us? In the past, they've seen this community as tired and worn. I think now when you see the Highway 50 improvements when you drive, particularly from Meeks Lumber all the way down to the state line, they're seeing these improvements. And I think the evidence in that is by our occupancy. This last July and August, this town had some of the best occupancy and visitor numbers we've ever had. So I think we're seeing a renaissance. Are we there yet? No. We got a lot more to do. We've got to work from Meeks down to the Y. Caltrans has backed off on their commitment. If I'm reelected, I'll be knocking on doors like I did before. I started advocating this Highway 50 project back in '92. It took me that long to get through this bureaucracy called Caltrans. And I am not going to let them back away from their commitment. I've gone to Sacramento and actually knocked on doors of senators and assembly members to get the funding, and I'm going to do that again if I'm reelected. So I think the visitors have seen us in a much better light. They're seeing us in a recreation that we're moving towards. The city's always been in recreation, but we're going to go further that way, particularly with a 56-acre plan, a project we're working on right now, and entertainment. Snow globe is a good example. I've been to every snow globe there is. I go at midnight. I take a buddy of mine who's 88 years old, and I go, and it's fascinating to see this younger generation. Not my music, but you know, there's enough generation coming up behind us we're going to have to cater to, and we will.